Hi, and welcome to my channel. Today in this tutorial, I want to show you how to instance and create this kind of graphics. Here is my node network. And it's basically this. Now, let me show you how to build it. First, I add a sphere node. And I connect it straight to a geometry. Now I add a node. I add a camera. And a constant material. Next, a render top. And I'll connect it to a null so I can see what I'm doing. I turn on this display button. Done. Now let's go to my network. We're going to create an attribute. And in it, we're going to enable this checkbox, pscale, which works for handling scales depending on what we want to drive with it. Right? So here we already have the base. Now I'll create a noise node. And we're going to animate it right away. There, now it has movement. And in it, in this scope, we're going to set it to pscale. I click here just in case. You can see it's not moving anymore, so this is going to drive the instances individually, not the position, which is what it was doing before. I add a circle node. And I connect it to copy. Done. Now in this one, I'm going to reduce the instances. That's so it doesn't get too heavy. My computer can handle it anyway. And we're going to use this radius. It looks about right. Next, I'm going to use this same one, and I'm going to copy and paste it. I have another constant material, but in this case, I'll use black. This is so you don't see the back of the sphere, and it's not so visually noisy. So I come back here and I set it to triangles. See? I'm going to animate the y-axis to see what's happening all around the sphere. I hit play. Okay, now as you can see, the circles aren't positioned correctly, right? Aligned with the x-axis if I'm not mistaken. Now let's go here to copy and to this checkbox. Template. We turn on point scale and template rotate to order on Z. It can also be -Z. There, now each instance has its own individual scale, driven by the noise. I want more instances so it looks much better. Done. Now I want to assign a color to each instance. So for this, we're going to build this in the top network. I add a ramp. And I add a noise. It gets connected to a lookup node. Now I'll give this some color. Let's take the noise off. Here I adjusted the colors, and I'll click on this part. It's called linear, and we change it to step.
Late at night when the room grows cold, you're the only story that I want told. Soft touch on my body.
So you can see all the colors. Now I add a pop node here, Lookup Texture.
Every beat of my heart has your name.
Done. I assign this texture here. And in Output, Attribute Scope, I select Color. Done. So now we see the colors are there, but they're not per instance. So we're going to select these checkboxes, which are the normals. The normals tell each point which direction it's facing, and that's what makes the color land on every instance individually. And I'm going to animate it. I don't like this song. This one? No, we already heard that one. This one. I'm gonna do a bit more of this one. There, this is the basics for creating this kind of graphics with instances controlled through noise. In this case, the noise is tied to each instance and to the individual scale of each point. Now we're going to improve the graphic a little by adding some brightness and another node to adjust the saturation. A little bit darker. Done. Okay, so this is the basics. Now I want to experiment a bit more. And my idea is for the noise to control the height of each instance out from the sphere. So in this part, I'll add another noise. This creates a cool effect, but it's not what I want. So we're going to change it here in this top part, and we set the... Here you can see it already has height. You should always keep these two values close so it doesn't start distorting. For example, see how they're starting to twist. That's why I don't like it. Okay, here you can also change this shape. I mean, you can add any other kind of shape and it'll be repeated on every instance. But we can do this kind of thing. For example, I set it to 4 and now I have a different figure. I set it to 3 and now I have triangles. So that's all for today, and thank you for watching.